Hey guys, it's Annie here. So I wanted just to share a little bit about why I think that coaching was the number one thing that I wanted to do once I realized what exactly coaching was. So I'm going to give you a little bit about my background. So when I went to college, I went going for a degree that I knew I could come out and have a job with. So I picked teaching, and I graduated 4 years with a teaching degree. While I was at school, I had a student aid position at my counseling center at the school that I went to. So I was a work study for 4 years at the counseling center while I was going to school as a teacher. So one of the things that I realized when coming out of school, graduating with a teaching degree, first through sixth, was that I didn't really want to be a teacher. I love the aspect of teaching others and helping others, but once I got into the classroom, I felt more connected with adults and older generations more so than I did with the students. And not to say that I didn't love the students, it was just something that I felt and I think I developed as working in the counseling center for 4 years. I just felt a deeper connection with my own age group and then older. So graduating, I was really torn about, I have a teaching degree and I was offered a job, and I really knew deep down in my heart that that was something that I did not want to do. I really didn't want to do it. So I was approached by my aunt who worked for a publishing company, and I started researching it my last semester of school. And it was more about building relationships with professors, and I would work with students my age at the time, 18 years old to 22 years old, and help them get started right with the programs, technology programs. So I like the aspect of working with the professors, and I love the aspect of working with the students. And I had no sales background whatsoever. I had no clue that what I was going into was so sales driven. And that's what it ended up being. Was I took a inside sales position. So I was at a computer and I was literally calling professors nonstop, seeing if they would want to use one of our textbooks so that I could then implement it into their classrooms. So where am I going with this story? I want to teach you a little bit about what I learned from being in the counseling center, a teacher, and then sales. So when I first started sales, I thought that it was call, cold call, and I would get a couple sales, and then I would just leave that person. I would just, okay, I got that sale, great. I ended up struggling so hard because I lacked one of the initial things that I really, really should have focused on going back to when I was a teacher and a counseling, was building relationships with people. So my next year going in after failing miserably and getting a second chance, I went out and I invited nonstop. I mean, I was the queen of inviting. We had a sheet and it was we got a little tracker and I was like, I'm going to invite. So I invited all the time, nonstop, to every professor that I could connect with. But I made it more personal. So every email had my picture in it. Every time I called them, I knew a little bit about them. I made notes about them. I knew about their family, what book they were using previously. I took the time to understand why they use the products that they did and what would help them if, what little things in my products would help them. So my first year of actually building relationships was really great. And the biggest thing that was huge, the following was follow-up. I followed up to make sure that they were implementing what I sold, what they purchased through me, and I was there for them to help them make sure that that was really working. And that's the same thing with this entire Beachbody thing. And what I realized was I obviously love coaching because I have a stronger connection with it myself because I've used the products, I lost the weight, I have an emotional invested in this entire coaching. And what I realized with the two things is it's the exact same thing. You have to be emotionally involved with your customers, and if they are figure out asking questions. So one of the best sales advice that somebody told me was, when you ask a question, bite your tongue. Literally. The best thing that you can do when talking to somebody, even on the computer, is ask a question, bite your tongue, and let them respond. Really figure out, why is it that they want to do the 21-day fix, or what is it that is going to improve their nutrition if they drink Shakeology, or are they a mom? How many kids do they have? How long has it been since they've lost their actual baby weight? So little questions like that really go a long ways. I do use the invite document. I'm a busy mom, and when I started, I only had a certain amount of time, so I was, copying and pasting. But if you can really invest a little bit about what your customers do in the long run, you might not see progress within the first 6 months or a year, but you're going to have these people following you, and you're going to know little bits of things about them. So when you're ready to follow up for that 21-day fix, hey, Sarah, I know that you said that you had this, you're still holding on to your baby weight, and I just wanted to see if you wanted to join our challenge, because I think this would be great. This is how I started to get back on track after the kids. I still struggle on a daily basis, but it keeps me accountable to my own fitness, and I was wondering if you would like to join us. Something short and sweet that connected to what they personally told you. And most of this stuff I do privately through messaging. So I hope that's helpful about some of the things that I've learned in the past 10 years since I was a teacher in the counseling center and a sales representative for my other company. But the biggest thing about your customers is they're going to relate to you once you take the time to relate to them. And bite that tongue. Bye, guys.